really? Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Rashida. We're the
Wait a minute.
Fetties.
So,
Happy
happy
holidays.
holidays. I don't remember what the topic is.
We
What?
finances.
Oh.
Finances during the holidays.
Okay, so finance is always a tough topic in relationships.
Yes, it is.
So are we doing just the holidays or are we doing the how we handle it in general?
I would say around the holidays because it is the holiday and we're very holiday things going on. I think how people can overspend during the holidays. Well, one of the things that we did some research on and we had a group of friends do is called the money. What was
Oh, the
that?
money challenge, the 52-week challenge.
The money challenge, and that I think helps tremendously because you save at the beginning of the year and literally start in small increments. And then by the time you get to December, which is Christmas time, you have money to spend. And you don't have to dig into your NIPSCO or what they call NIPSCO here or RG&E, any electricities, the extra money. People go crazy around the holiday season. And you really, if you prepare, it won't impact you or wipe you out. So why don't you explain what the 52 challenge is?
Yeah, 52. Oh, wow, 52 weeks. And actually, we didn't even start that until last year because prior we had just set a budget saying we're not going to spend any more than, I think we read it somewhere some years ago, 10% of 1 month's income was what you maximum you should spend on Christmas. So whatever that 10% of 1 month's income is a good equation to use for what you spend for Christmas. So you take that, divide it, obviously, take the 10% and then divide amongst the number of people you have to buy gifts for. Obviously, you move it around, the metrics around a little bit, depending on what age groups the folks are in. But, this is not about buying stuff. This is about celebrating this time of season and being together as a family. So don't get stuck on it too much. But we used that equation for years. And then we started 52-week challenge. And really, the 52-week challenge didn't come because of Christmas. It came for vacations. It kind of morphed. Well, she has her own 52-week challenge.
My 52-week challenge was for Christmas.
That's because she liked to buy stuff.
She liked to buy stuff too. She just don't like telling me. Like, where's that? Oh, you lucky you ain't got it all. She like buying expensive watches.
But okay, so that's cool. She mentioned that. That's true. I like really expensive watches, and I buy myself a piece of jewelry every other year. But here's how I do it. Now she has to tell you the whole thing. What I do is I have a jar in my closet that I accumulate all of the change in our closet.
Accumulate. Hold up. My chains go in there too. Every time we break some dollar bills, whatever change you got left, you got some in your pocket in your purse.
We put the change in the one same place. But I had now tell the truth though. I had my own fund. I've always done this, even when we were dating, that I saved my change all in one spot. And then when I got to a piece of jewelry that I wanted, the cost, I would buy it out of that change and then there's no impact. So there are little things like that you can do. So I had a jar for my own personal stuff, and we also had another jar that was ours, and now we use that actually now. We used the 52 weeks. We were using that jar for years for vacation. So everybody puts their change in it, and then we pick a vacation destination, and then we cash that in and use it to go to whatever trip we were going to. And at first, she could tell you the whole story. At first, when we first got together, she was like, "Why are you walking around with all this change in the backseat of your car and in the trunk of your car in these bags?" And I would tell her, that's what I do all my extracurricular activity stuff on, so it didn't touch my funds and it didn't impact my savings. So those are things that we have gotten better at, and they've morphed over the years. So last year, a group of my friends and my high school buddies, we all issued a 52-week challenge. And there are several ways to do a 52-week challenge. So you can go on Pinterest and all those sites, and they have them.
Google it.
Yeah, and all you have to do is to get a group together and decide what amount of money you're shooting for.
Right.
So everybody say, well, we're shooting for $5,000, saving $5,000 by the end of the year, or 1 year from today, and then each week for the group that agreed to do it, you hold each other accountable. You don't give each other your bank balance, but you send each other a note saying, hey, and you're supposed to send proof though that you deposited. Hey,
basically you take a screenshot of
right.
your statement, but then you crop it and edit out all your private information, and then you shoot and you have it in a group text. Hey, and believe it or not, the first person who does, she's always the first one to do, and then it becomes a chain reaction because it's making the people feel you gotta be held accountable. So when they do it, it's just like when she used to be like, hey, did you post your picture? Did you save your money? I'm like, okay.
But she's gonna want to go shopping.
Let me just do this because I want to do a whole lot later. So let me just send this information.
So those are some of the ways we've handled holiday money. Some of the ways we've handled vacation money. Sometimes when you want to buy something personal and they don't want it to come out of your joint funds, start your own jar in your closet on your side of the bedroom or whatever for your stuff, and then that way it doesn't have an overall impact on your family finances. Our overall finances, though, I'll answer that one really quickly because this is an equation we adopted. There are very few times in a relationship where you will make the same amount of money.
Nope.
So this is the way we've done it. We take the sum, whatever the total is, and I'm going to use small increments just because you just need to get the point. She makes $4 a year and I make $6 a year. Together we make $10 a year. But of the $10 a year, she makes 40% of it and I make 60% of it. So we take the bills and we divide the bills based on percentage. So she gets 40% of the household bills to pay and I get 60% of the household bills to pay. What that does is it keeps equality in the relationship and the money. Because what will happen is if I make more money or if one person makes more money, and then you always want to buy something and you add something new to your household budget. If you're capped at $4 and I got room and I say I make $8, if we buy something new and you can't go any higher than $4, then it automatically comes out of my share. Well, what happens over time if the other person's money doesn't grow at the same rate is that you become resentful because like I got to make all the money and buy all the stuff and do all of this. You can't do it that way. It's never going to be balanced. So when you both have a percentage that you're responsible for, and then you make the bill decision to say, hey, yeah, we can get this new car. It's going to cost us this. And even if you still only have 40%, I have 60%, it's still an increase for you of another $10 a month. It's going to be an increase for me of another whatever 60% of that's going to be. X amount a month. And if you guys can't do that, make those increases based on the proportion, then don't do it because it's not going to be worth the headache. And you don't want somebody feeling resentful at the end of the transaction.
One thing that I want to just jump on and say, she was saying the 60 and the 40, and that she was, I don't know if you said it or not, but when you I got my $4, and if my bills only come up to $3.50, I still got an extra 50 cents. But if she has the 6 and her bills only come to $4, she has an extra $2. But the problem, not the problem, I think what needs to be said is you got a little bit extra left over. After you pay all your bills, you don't have nothing. So if you go percentage wise, both of you will always have something.
Right.
So
that's important.
Don't feel like, I just work, pay bills.
Give up all my money.
Pay bills. No, you work, pay bills, and do a little extra here and there.
And
it feels good. And I think that's just a really good balance with the percentage scenario.
Yeah, you're right. Good point. Yeah, you keep some balance in that, and then nobody ever feels like everything they've got is going into the whole pot. So
I don't want to pay no more bills.
None of us do. So we're going to actually start to wrap it up here.
Absolutely.
That's our take on how we handle finances. Hopefully that's helpful. The percentage thing, we've given out that advice a million times, and we've seen people be very successful at it. But again, you want to just, again, we all operate out of fear. We don't want anybody to take advantage of us. We don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to be used. So you build mechanisms into the relationship that won't allow that to happen. She's looking at my reindeer ears, but you saw her make me laugh. So
You're my
have
queen.
yourself a merry little Christmas. Believe it or not, we can actually sing. That was so bad. I did. So anyway, I'm good. You good? We're
I'm trying to hit
good.
her with it.
So have a Merry
Have a
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Spend wisely.
Look for the sales, the coupons, online coupons. Listen here.
She is a beast at that.
I'm not a big couponer, but listen, I will look for the discounts, the online coupons, and the rewards. Woo. Listen here, they save money.
Yeah.
I save that money so I can spend the money on hair,
That's the truth.
makeup, and all these little fun things, and more jewelry, more stuff. I need to add more stuff to my tree. Looking kind of naked.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. You have a great holiday season and a happy new year.
All right. Make sure you follow us. Peace.
Follow us somewhere on here. Here we go. Up here.
What's
Over
with
here?
the point every
Or down
episode?
here?
I don't know.
Down here.
Have a good night.
Wherever it's at. Hit it. We don't own the rights to the song, but we're going to play it. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I don't know the words, but I'm going to act like I don't know.
Show them who you are.